Through giving online, supporting the ministries of Victory Church and the missionaries who are counting on us has never been easier. Giving online is fast, easy, and secure. If you can send an email or order from Amazon, you can give online using your mobile device or your computer. To get started, head to victorylakeland.org/give. Scroll down until you see the blue Give Now button. From there, you will have the option to sign in, or if you don't already have an online giving account, you can click the Sign Up button. Next, type in your name, email, a password, and then click the Sign Up button. On the giving page, you will notice you have two options to choose from: Give one time and Give recurring. Recurring giving is a great option because it allows you to set a specific schedule for your giving, so you don't have to worry about remembering to give in the future. Next, you have the option to select one or more funds so we can know where to apply your donation, like tithes, missions, development, or the Dream Center. After you've selected where your giving should go, you can choose whether to give with a credit or debit card or through your bank account. Next, you'll want to enter your contact information and set the date you'd like your donation to be processed. Finally, click the Make a Donation button. You will receive an email confirmation and receipt each time you give, whether it's a one-time donation or recurring. Another option is to give through text. On your mobile phone, simply start a new text to 863-250-2270. In the body of the text, type in what fund you'd like the money to go toward and the amount you'd like to give. For example, if you want to tithe $275, simply type tithe 275. If this is your first time giving through text, you will receive a text from us that will give you a quick and easy way to enter your card and contact information. You can even set up recurring giving through text by following the instructions on your screen. Thank you for supporting the ministries of Victory Church and the missionaries who are counting on us during this time.
Fixing is what you do. You take broken things, breathe on every piece, make them new again. I'm giving mine to you, no matter what it takes, 'cause I wanna be close to you again. Chasing is what you do. I keep trying to run, you keep pulling me back into your arms. I'm giving mine to you. No, I've messed it up, that don't change a thing.
Hey, good morning, Victory Church family. Thank you so much for joining with us online. I'm here with Pastor John and Pastor Glenn. We just want to let you know a few ways that you can connect with us and the different ministries here at Victory Church through kids, youth, and our seniors ministry. Pastor John, you want to tell us some ways that our parents and kids can connect with your kids' ministry?
Yeah, definitely. On our Victory Kids Facebook page, we're going to be posting a lot of content over the next few weeks. Every Sunday, we're going to post two services, one for early childhood and one for elementary, with worship, Bible lesson, and at-home activity. But we want to encourage you guys to maybe even watch it together as a family. Get your Bible ready and dive into that every Sunday. And then throughout the week, we're going to be posting various content from at-home activities, some parent tips, and some devotionals that you can do at home.
That's awesome, Pastor John. Thank you so much. Pastor Glenn, do you want to tell us some ways that our seniors can still connect with Victory Church at home?
Absolutely. You know, during this time of precaution, we want to continue our ministry, and not only continue, but we want to step it up for you. So I am pleased to announce that on Friday, March 27th at 9:30 a.m., we will begin streaming our Adult Plus Chapel services online. We'll still have great music, fantastic testimonies, we'll take prayer requests, we'll also have a message from the Bible filled with hope and great Bible teaching. You can access our online services by logging on to the Victory Church website and pressing the Watch Live link. Also next Friday, check out our new Facebook Adult Plus group page. That link will also be found on our website, and we will be regularly posting your testimonies, prayer requests, pictures, and other news so you can keep up with your Adult Plus friends. Ron and I, as well as Richard and Deborah, want you to know that we love you and that we are praying for you during this time. By the way, if you have any need that we could possibly meet through our senior adult ministry, please don't hesitate to call the church ministry office. God bless you. God keep you safe. And I'll be seeing you online, of course, Friday, March 27th, 9:30 a.m.
And for students grades 6 through 12, or maybe even parents of students grades 6 through 12, we have 3 online platforms for you to be able to connect with us on a daily basis. First platform is Instagram. Every single day, we'll be posting content and going live, answering questions that your students have or that you have, as well as posting all of our services every single Wednesday night at 6:30 there. Also through Facebook, you can search Victory Student Church, as well as YouTube. You can do the same, and all of our services will be streamed live every single Wednesday night. And we can't wait to connect with you. We look forward to connecting with you during this time. So if you have any questions about how you can connect with kids, youth, or seniors, you can always visit our website at victorylakeland.org/live as the central hub for all the different points of connections that we have here at Victory Church. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you guys.
Here I am, finally letting go, 'cause I got you. Take my life, give it all away, 'cause I got you. Here I am, finally letting go, 'cause I got you. Take my life, give it all away, 'cause I got you.
Hey, Victory Church, thank you so much for joining us today for our online worship experience. My name is Mark, and I am your host for today. If you could do us a quick favor, if you could click the share button right below, or grab your phone, text a few friends, and encourage them to join this worship experience with you, that would be incredible. You have no idea what an impact a single text message or a single share could make in somebody's life. Also, if it's your first time worshiping with us today, if you could simply text the word CONNECT to this number right here, 863-400-1226. That is a fast and easy way for our church to connect with you wherever you are at. Or maybe you find yourself in a time of need right now. You need prayer, you need supplies, you need help, you need guidance. Also, if you text this same number and text the word ASSIST, one of our staff team members will be reaching out to you as quickly as possible. And lastly, wherever you are at, prepare your hearts for an incredible time of worship, and thank you for joining us online at Victory Church.
The weapon may be formed, but it won't prosper. When the darkness falls, it won't prevail. 'Cause the God I serve knows only how to triumph. And my God will never fail. And my God will never fail. 'Cause I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. And I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. It belongs to you. There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. And every war he wages, he will win. So I'm not backing down from any giant. 'Cause I know how this story ends. a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory, I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory, I'm gonna see a victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. Jesus, you take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. We believe, Jesus.
Well, it's good to be with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed that song as much as I did. We are going to see a victory. I want you to know that we are praying for you. We look so forward to that time when we're back again with you. That's going to be a great day. That's going to be a great Sunday when we're able to gather together. But I'm so glad you're with us today. And I'll mention this later and just remind you of it. But right now, would you just take a moment and get in contact with somebody that you know and ask them to join us during this time? And there's a lot of different ways. Facebook, church's website. You can go to YouTube. Check us out there. But I'm so glad you're here. And I just want you to know this. We are praying for you. We are praying for you. We're praying for you every day. Our church staff is here every day. I can tell you we are working as hard or harder than we've ever worked before. These are unique times, but the ministry of the church is going forward, and we're here to serve you and help you in any way that we can. Our church staff is here every single day, our normal hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Any way we can serve you or help you, let us know. But we just wanted you to know we're praying for you, and I'm praying for you. And I know that God is going to be real and powerful in your life right now. Well, the ministry of the church continues to go forward. And I've been on the phone with people just today, just a time of need and challenge. And so the church, we're like in full operational mode. And so in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to give online. I know that we're not able to pass the buckets or the plates or the bags, but you're going to be given the opportunity to give online. And I thank you in advance for doing that. But one of the things that we're doing right now is every single month, every week, as we support our missionaries, and there's a lot of them, and we're going to continue to support our missionaries, many of them all over the world. Some of them are in very, very difficult places. Some of them are facing the coronavirus challenge even greater than we are right here in our nation. And so we're going to come back in just a moment, and we're going to receive the offering online. But right now, I want you to turn your attention to this video.
Water is life. Having clean drinking water is something that most of us in the United States take for granted. At the turn of a faucet, you can rinse your dishes, take a shower, and make a refreshing glass of iced tea. But imagine life without clean water, where you have to travel hours on foot in the hot sun just to find a muddy trench filled with stagnant rainwater. Insects have laid their eggs in it. Your livestock drink from it. It is diseased with animal feces and urine, but it's the best you got to bring home to your children and family. Water determines quality of life. Water is essential. Water is life. And water is the vehicle which the gospel is being spread in Africa. Over the next few years, Speed the Light has made the commitment to spread the gospel through unconventional means. We are bringing physical water along with the living water of Jesus Christ to completely transform these desperate villages in Africa. Your Speed the Light money will make it possible for World Serve to strategically dig wells just like this one next to churches. These churches then become powerful oasis centers in which water provides sanitation, restores dignity, and changes lives for all eternity. Will you help? Speed the Light is calling you. along with thousands of students across America, to end the water crisis in Africa once and for all, bringing the gospel to the most remote places so that every person may find life in Jesus Christ.
I'm going to invite you right now to join us in Giving Online. And some of you are like, I've never done that before. And I want to just say to you, it's way easier than you think it is. In fact, can I say it this way? If you've ordered something online, and most all of you have, or you've ever ordered something from Amazon, which all of us probably have, then Giving Online is just as easy as that. There's a couple of ways that you can do that. You can go to the church's website, victorylakeland.org, and we can walk you through that. You'll see, and you'll be able to follow it along. Or you can text to give, and that's so easy. In fact, I did that just this morning, and especially once you have your information in there, whether it's the website or text to give, it's even easier after that. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to show you a video, and this is going to walk you through, if you're not already giving online, how you can give online, and I think you'll find it to be quite easy.
Through giving online, supporting the ministries of Victory Church and the missionaries who are counting on us has never been easier. Giving online is fast, easy, and secure. If you can send an email or order from Amazon, you can give online using your mobile device or your computer. To get started, head to victorylakeland.org/give. Scroll down until you see the blue Give Now button. From there, you will have the option to sign in, or if you don't already have an online giving account, you can click the Sign Up button. Next, type in your name, email, a password, and then click the Sign Up button. On the giving page, you will notice you have two options to choose from: Give one time and Give recurring. Recurring giving is a great option because it allows you to set a specific schedule for your giving, so you don't have to worry about remembering to give in the future. Next, you have the option to select one or more funds so we can know where to apply your donation, like tithes, missions, development, or the Dream Center. After you've selected where your giving should go, you can choose whether to give with a credit or debit card or through your bank account. Next, you'll want to enter your contact information and set the date you'd like your donation to be processed. Finally, click the Make a Donation button. You will receive an email confirmation and receipt each time you give, whether it's a one-time donation or recurring. Another option is to give through text. On your mobile phone, simply start a new text to 863-250-2270. In the body of the text, type in what fund you'd like the money to go toward and the amount you'd like to give. For example, if you want to tithe $275, simply type tithe 275. If this is your first time giving through text, you will receive a text from us that will give you a quick and easy way to enter your card and contact information. You can even set up recurring giving through text by following the instructions on your screen. Thank you for supporting the ministries of Victory Church and the missionaries who are counting on us during this time.
Well, thank you so much. As I mentioned to you, what we're doing right here at home continues, and what we're doing around the world continues. Thank you so much for your faithfulness. If you went through that process and you're like, I still could use a little bit of help, would you just let us know? You can email us, you can call us here at the church office, and we'll be happy to walk you through it. In fact, what you may want to do is once you get it set up, whether you're giving online, the website, or through text to give, once you set it up, you may even want to make it reoccurring, because that will help you. You really won't even have to think about it a whole lot. So I want to just say thank you so much for giving. I hope and I believe that you will enjoy this next song.
Bring it all to peace. The storm surrounding me let it break at your name, and still call the sea to still, the rage in me to still every wave at your name. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, you silence fear. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus,
Wow, that was a really, really great song, and I hope that you enjoyed that. Our worship team's been working really hard, and I think you're going to enjoy. During this time when we're not connected as we typically would, they're going to continue to bring you some great worship. I am so glad that you are joining us online today. And before we do anything else, before we get into anything else, here's what I want to ask you kindly to do. Will you take just a moment? You've got time to do it right now. Would you communicate with a friend or a family member or both and ask them to join you in watching this service online? We're offering it, obviously, from the church's website, victorylakeland.org. They can join us that way, or they can join us on YouTube. We're available on YouTube, and if you're already watching on YouTube, you know that, or Facebook. And by the way, if you would take just a moment, if you're watching us on Facebook, go ahead and like us on Facebook. That would mean the world to us. It's really helpful to us. And in fact, if your friend joins us on Facebook, if they could like us as well, that's a huge help. We appreciate you doing that. And we're beginning a brand new message series today that is going to lead us right up until Easter, which is a couple of weeks away. And we're already working really, really hard to get ready for Easter. And it's going to be a powerful Sunday. Even if we're not together by Easter, what we'll be able to share with you is going to be a powerful, powerful thing. And this new series that we're beginning today and then next week deals with this reality of questions. Now, I want to take just a moment and I want to ask you, when you hear the word questions, what do you think about? What goes through your mind? Maybe for some of you, when you hear the word questions, your mind goes back into the classroom and you can remember a time when you're like, oh man, there was that test and it seemed like it had a gazillion questions on it. And so that's what is embedded in your thinking. Questions, classroom, academics, a test. Now, there's a lot of you that you have young kids. And so when you hear the word questions, maybe your mind goes to a road trip and you're about 5 minutes down the road, you got some little voices in the back seat, and the little voices about 5 minutes into the trip start asking, and you know the question they're asking, right? You've heard it a million times. When are we going to be there? When are we going to be there? And they ask it 5 minutes later and 5 minutes later, the entirety of the trip, until you pull up wherever you're going to go or until they fall asleep, which you're praying to Jesus that they will. Questions. When are we going to be there? No. This is what we know. During this very unique time, there's a lot of you asking questions that you've never asked before. Like, when will this threat, when will this alarm of the coronavirus be over? When's it going to be over? Or maybe you're asking the economy that seems to be, needless to say, in a tailspin. You know, when is that going to calm down again? Maybe you're asking questions like, when are things going to get back to? How long will it take us to recover? How long before we have, once again, this sense of normalcy? Questions that maybe you've never asked before. Now, in this series, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at two questions that Jesus asked. One of the questions we're going to look at today, and I can't wait to get into this with you, and then another question that we will ask next week. Now, what is amazing to me is this, that Jesus asked questions. Jesus asked questions. Now, we're asking questions of a different sort, and this is a stressful time in many respects. We know that. In fact, we saw this recently. Perhaps you saw it as well. There was a little guy, I believe his name is Ben. Ben's about 8 years old, and like many families right now, Ben is being homeschooled by his mom. And I want you to see right over here what Ben wrote. This is his own handwriting, and this is Ben, 8 years old, being homeschooled, and he writes this note during a little break. He said, "It is not going good. It's not going good. My mom's getting stressed out." And some of you moms are saying, I can identify with this mom. I am stressed out too. My mom is getting really confused. We took a break so my mom can figure this stuff out. And I like what he says here. He said, I'm telling you, as if we didn't believe him earlier in his note, I'm telling you, it is not going good. And some of you are feeling that way. Well, Jesus' questions were of a different sort. In fact, this is something that you may want to do sometime. If you ever go through the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and you look through the Gospels, here's what you're going to find. You could just go in and highlight them. Over 100 questions of Jesus are recorded in the Gospels. And I want you to help me out right here. Would you agree? Let me ask it this way. Would you agree that Jesus knows everything, that he is omniscient? So you think, like, why does Jesus need to be asking questions when Jesus already knows the answer? Now, would you help me out? Do you believe that Jesus knows everything? Do you believe that? Do you believe that Jesus is fully omniscient? Of course you believe that. Some of you, you believe that Jesus is so all-knowing that he even knows that what you're wearing right now, watching online, is not what you're going to wear when you gather back together with us when we're able to meet together again. And some of you are looking down and you're like, dude, you're right. I won't be wearing... Well, Jesus knows everything. And it's totally amazing to me that the one who knows everything, Jesus, that the one who has all of the answers, which is Jesus, could ask such fascinating questions. And this one that we're going to spotlight today is a question that, I think resonates with where we're at currently in our culture and really globally in many respects. And the question is this: why are you so afraid? Why are you so afraid? It's a question that Jesus raised, and it's pertinent to this time. Now, some background here would be really helpful, and so let me just touch on that, and then we're going to get into the story. In Mark chapter 4, Jesus is teaching, and Jesus is actually teaching from, of all places, he is teaching from a boat. Now, the teaching, by the time we come to what we're about to see, the teaching is over. The teaching has wrapped up, and as it does, here's what's going to happen. The evening's settling in, and Jesus wants to go to the other side of the lake. Teaching is over, and he says to his followers, his disciples, let's go over to the other side of the lake. This is Mark chapter 4, and I want you to pick up with me right here, verse 35. Let's look at this together. That day, again, the teaching is over. When evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, let us go over to the other side. They're on the Sea of Galilee. Let us go over to the other side of the lake. Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. That's really important. There were also other boats with him. Look at this. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern. Jesus is in the boat. Now, some of you may find this humorous. He's actually, in the middle of this storm, he's actually sleeping on a cushion. There's a storm. He's in the boat, but he's asleep. Look at this next part right here. I want you to see this. The disciples woke him and said to him, look at this phrase, teacher, don't you care if we drown? Like, do you really care what's going on? Do you care that we're going through this? Do you know? Do you care what's going on? He got up. Jesus got up. What did he do? He rebuked the wind and said to the waves, quiet, be still. Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, and here's our questions for today. Here's our question. Why are you so afraid? Question that Jesus said, why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? They were terrified and asked each other, who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him. Now, all of this goes down, and here's a little portion of the background. This all goes down on the Sea of Galilee, which was known for storms that would just seemingly come out of nowhere. It was quite common for a storm on the Sea of Galilee to arrive unannounced. A beautiful day, a beautiful evening could erupt into a dreadful storm with little to no warning. Now, that's, something that, as I reflect back when I was a small kid, I remember a time when I was traveling with my family, mom and dad, and we were going to visit some family members, and my sister, my brother, myself, we were in the back seat. And so the trip had been going well. It had been a beautiful day. Everything seemed to be going quite all right, and we're talking and conversing, but I noticed that my dad started listening to the radio a little bit more closely, and I noticed, and I if I'd ever seen my dad really afraid before this time, I don't remember it, but I could notice even while I'm having a conversation with my brother and sister in the back seat that Dad is starting to get a little bit afraid, and he's listening, and I can tell that something is alarming him. Well, there's so many, facets to the story. I'll not take the time to tell it all, except to say this. It seemed like in no time, out of a beautiful day, Dad suddenly, we were now long off of the interstate, we were traveling through a small town, and Dad suddenly pulls into an area that has a covering over it, and we quickly realize that just ahead of us, a tornado has touched down. We can't see it, but it's close enough. We can see a lot of the activity. Dad's tuned into the radio. He knows exactly what's going on. And I mean, everything had been wonderful. Everything had been great until we find ourselves in the middle of the storm. Well, us kids, we're in the back seat and we're freaking out. My sister, she's got a Barbie doll in her hand and she's like wringing the hair on that Barbie doll. And this is what she actually says. Debbie starts saying, positive sort, we're dead. I know we're dead. We're not going to make it. There's no way we're going to get out of this. A real positive person she was in those moments. Well, she was afraid. We all were afraid when suddenly, out of nowhere, a storm comes up. And this is exactly what is happening in many respects today. Sometimes in life, we're just going about our normal days when out of nowhere, a fierce storm comes up. Haven't we seen that recently? If you're like me, at Christmas time, do you know at Christmas, which was just, recently, relatively recently, at Christmas time, do you know how much thought I was given to the coronavirus or an unstable economy? You know how much thought? Zero thought. And you weren't giving thought to it as well. The stock market was up, the economy is booming, things are looking well. Here in our city, jobs are being added. Industry is expanding. Things are looking great. Everything is up and to the right. When suddenly, out of nowhere, it seems, here comes a storm. Now, I truly believe that knowing the times that we're situated in, that Jesus wants all of us to learn some hope-filled truths from this event that we've just seen in Mark chapter 4. And here is the question again. I know you heard it a moment ago, but let me mention it again. Are you ready for it? Why are you so afraid? Why are you so afraid? Now, two thoughts along this line that I want to give you, and I want you to jot this first one down, write it down somewhere, reach out wherever you need to, put it on your phone or your tablet, but I want you to get this down somewhere. I think it will really, really help you, and it is this. Are you ready? Number one, whenever you're in a storm, always remember the presence of Jesus. Always remember the presence that Jesus is there. In fact, let's go and look at verses 37 and 38 again. I want you to see this. A furious squall came up, like out of nowhere. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Look at this. It's so good. Jesus was in the stern. Jesus was in the boat. And as we pointed out a moment ago, he is sleeping on a cushion. No. Where is Jesus? I mean, it's obvious because you see it here. Where is Jesus when the storm came up? Where is Jesus when the waves are nearly swamping the boat? You know where he is. I know where he is. We just read it right here in Mark chapter 4. Where is Jesus? Jesus is in the boat. Now, I'm going to ask you right where you're at watching right now, I'm going to ask you this question. You know the answer. It's rhetorical. And I want you to answer me back, if you will. And I think it'd be helpful. Say it out loud. And I know you may have your little dog, and your dog may look at you like, what are you doing speaking out loud? But go ahead and do it. Humor me, if you will. I'm going to ask you the question, and you answer out loud. Who is in the boat? Who is in the boat? Jesus is in the boat. I want you to say it a little bit louder. I mean, like get really energetic. I'll ask it one more time. Who is in the boat? And we know that Jesus is in the boat. Now, I don't want you to ever forget that the person that you and I need most now and in the future is already in the boat. Some time ago, I read this story, and I brought it with me today. Ben Patterson is an author, and he talks about the Amazon River, the biggest river in the world. And I'll just read a couple of paragraphs from his book. He says, its volume, speaking of the Amazon River, its volume is greater than the Mississippi and Nile River combined. In the early days of European exploration, ships would sometimes be caught in the doldrums for days in the Amazon's, listen to this now, 90-mile wide mouth, thinking that they were still far out to sea. They're in the river, but they think they're out at sea. Patterson writes that supplies would run low, water would be gone, and sailors, unfortunately, would die of thirst. Next paragraph. When South American natives canoed out to their ships, the frantic sailors would often ask where to find fresh water. The natives would often laugh and point to the water that was just beneath them. The sailors had no idea of the vast, as he writes, the vast quantities of refreshment that was all around them. Here they were, and what these sailors needed most was fresh water. And where was it? It was right there with them already. And I want to just remind you of a truth that you know, and I hope that it will encourage you. It certainly encourages me. Did you know that the very one who pours out, not fresh water, but living water, is already in your boat? He's with you. He's with your family. He's in your situation. Now, I know. Maybe you're thinking this. If Jesus is in the boat, why would his disciples have to ride out a storm? I mean, if Jesus is in the boat, why would they have to ride out a storm in the first place? Now, if you happen to search the Gospels, you will never find Jesus saying this to any of his followers. You'll never find Jesus saying, okay, gang, from now on, now that you're with me, there's going to be no more storms. Jesus never says that. He never says, all right, you come into my family, you receive me as the Savior and the leader of your life, and I can guarantee you without a question that you're never going to face another storm the rest of your life. Jesus never does that. But what Jesus does is this. Jesus doesn't make any promises that the storms in life will not come along and rock the boat, but what he does promise us is even though storms may rock our boat, they will not sink our boat. Let me say that again, and it's true for you in your situation right now. There may be storms that feel like, man, this is rocking my boat, and it may in fact be doing that, but Jesus gives us a promise that it will not sink our boat. Which is why you and I can have real peace during this current storm. Did you know that the most reoccurring promise in all of the Bible is simply this? Again and again it's found, I will be with you. I'm in your boat. I know what you're going through. I know about all of your fears. I know about all of your concerns. I know what you fear about your job. I know what you fear about your family. I know what you fear about your health. I know what you fear about the economy. He knows all of that. But Jesus is right in the boat. A couple of verses I want you to see. Look at this first one here, Psalm 46 and verse 1. Look at this. God is our refuge. Isn't that true? And we need to grasp this now more than ever. God is our refuge and strength. Look at this phrase, always ready. How often? How often? Always ready to help in times of trouble. Psalm 46 and verse 1. Look at this next verse right here. Look at this one. Deuteronomy 31:6. You may want to get this one down as well. Be strong and courageous. Don't tremble. Don't be afraid. That's what Jesus was asking. Why are you so afraid? Don't tremble. Don't be afraid. The Lord your God is the one who is going with you. He's already in your boat. He won't abandon you. He will not leave you. Are we in a storm? Are we? Are we in a storm? Absolutely. But Jesus is in the boat. And although our boat may be rocked, I want to give you the assurance from Jesus, our boat will not sink. The presence. Always remember this in the middle of the storm. Remember the presence of Jesus. But secondly, be sure you get this down somewhere. Also remember the purpose of Jesus. Now, do you recall whose idea it was to go to the other side of the lake? Who came up with that idea? Well, Jesus does. It was actually Jesus. This is what he said. He wanted the boat to go further out. This is what he says, let us go over to the other side. It's not the disciples' idea. It's not some random person's idea. It is actually Jesus' idea. Now, I want to ask you a question, all right? I want you to really think about this right now. Here's the question. Did Jesus know that they would encounter this intense storm? Did Jesus know? I mean, he suggested he's the one. They didn't. He did. Let's go to the other side of the lake. Did he know that they would go through a storm? Absolutely. Absolutely, Jesus knew that. Now, I think by now, It goes without saying, but let me just mention the obvious. Everybody knows that Jesus did not cause the coronavirus. We know that. I mean, I've watched, just like you, a lot of news. I've read a lot of news. I've read a lot of information, and I've never found at one time anybody saying Jesus caused the coronavirus. Well, we know that that didn't happen. But I will tell you this, even though Jesus didn't cause it, can I tell you Jesus wasn't surprised by it? And in case you're wondering, was Jesus, was he like surprised that this would happen? And just taking back to something that we talked about a moment ago, when Jesus is all-knowing, when he's omniscient, that there's nothing he doesn't know and that he knows everything. Well, of course he knew that. Now, I think it's also important to mention something that you may be wondering. Maybe you're saying, well, maybe the disciples were a little bit out of alignment and Jesus just needed to bring them. Well, actually, the disciples were not operating outside of God's will when their boat got rowed. In fact, they were simply following Jesus' instructions to go to the other side of the lake. Now, I want to just say this to you, and you can't miss it. If you miss this, then you're going to miss something that could really help you. So if you've got momentarily distracted, I want you to dial back in. I want you to turn. I want you to look back at the screen, because I want you to hear this. Even when Jesus does not create a particular storm, think about this now. Even when Jesus does not create a particular storm, he's always able to use storms to accomplish his purpose in you and in me. Can I say that again? Because I think you need to hear it and I need to hear it. Even though Jesus does not cause these particular storms, it does not mean that Jesus cannot use these storms to accomplish something in us that otherwise may be an opportunity that we wouldn't miss out on. Here's a question. We're talking about Jesus' questions today, and then I hope you'll be back with us next week for the second question. But here's a question that I think in this current reality that you and I can and should ask Jesus. And here it is. It's really a couple of questions connected. We could ask Jesus this. Jesus, during this storm, what is it that you want me to learn? During this storm, what is it that you want me to learn? And here's a follow-up question to that. Jesus, during this storm, how is it that I can grow more? How can I grow more? James chapter 1, look at verses 2 through 4 here for just a moment. This is James, half-brother of Jesus. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles come your way, troubles is not new. When troubles come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know, look at this, for you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So, and this ought to be true for all of us, so let it grow. Let our faith grow. These are not easy times. These are difficult times. We know that, but let our faith grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. I can remember a time in my own life when, as a teenager, I was just riddled by fear all the time. The smallest things, I laugh about it now looking back and just say, I got it honestly. It came straight from my grandmother, who worried. Mamaw, we called her. And Mamaw just seemingly worried about all kinds of things all the time. And I think maybe I just, got it from her. But I was just always worried, riddled by fear. But little by little, from these, moments and seasons of fear, I just learned some things and I grew. And now what was once a great challenge for me is really it's not like nothing ever concerns me. It's just like fear is not dominating my life. Fear is not paralyzing my emotions, because through those times, even though they were difficult times, even though they were times of struggle for me, even though they were times that put me right on my knees, that was exactly where I needed to be to learn and to grow. Now, some of the people, when you stop and think about it, some of the people that you respect most, you respect their solid faith, you respect their spiritual maturity, you respect their vibrant connection with Jesus, it is directly, for so many of these people, probably everyone for the most part, it is directly related to the fact that they have weathered some storms. Because how did they get to that place? How did they become so strong? How did they become so mature? How did they just have this vibrancy with Jesus? You know where it comes from? It didn't happen because they had an easy life their whole life. For many of them, the people that we respect most, we respect their walk with God, are people who walk through storms. And God didn't cause them, but He used them to greater develop His purpose in their lives, just like He's able to do with ours. Now, I really like what Rick Warren has said, and I brought it here with me, and I want you to see it as well. Look at what he says. It's a great statement. Anyone can bring good out of good. We know that. Anybody can bring good out of good, but God can bring good out of bad. Look at this next part. If you will trust Him in every circumstance. I want you to look at just a few more verses, and then we're going to pray. Look at this. This is rest of Mark 4. The disciples woke Him and said to Him, remember, they're in the middle of the storm. Teacher, don't you care if we drown? He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, quiet, be still. Then, look at this. Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. That's what a lot of us need right now. We need calm in our life. We need peace in our life. He said to His disciples, here's that question, why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? They were terrified and asked each other, who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey Him. Can we take a moment right now? And I want to pray for you right there where you're at. Maybe you just listen, but you would bow your heads and you would close your eyes for just a moment. I want to just say this. If you are already a follower of Jesus, you're already in the family of God, you've received Christ as the Savior and the leader of your life, that maybe what you need right now is to ask God to give you peace, to speak peace and calm into your fears, to speak peace and calm into your emotions. I raise that same question for you today that Jesus asked, why are you so afraid? And in just a moment, I'm going to pray that God, no matter what has you most troubled, no matter what has you most anxious, worried about right now, I'm going to pray that God is going to bring peace and calm into your life, into your situation, into what you're dealing with, your job, your business, your family. Then there are those of you that you're not yet in the family of God. And I've just got to ask you, and I want to pray with you as well, because I want to just ask it to you this way. You know, if Jesus is not in your boat, if Jesus is not in your life, what would stop you from saying yes to Jesus? And I just encourage you right there where you're at, right now, listening to this, that you would say, Jesus, I want you in my life. Jesus, I need you in my boat. Listen, the person that you need most right now and for the rest of your life is available to you. And here's the reality. Jesus wants to get in your boat. Jesus wants to come into your life. And right now, right where you're at, you can pray and ask Jesus to come into your life and to be the Savior and the leader of your life. Again, let's pray. God, I just pray right now. I pray for every follower of yours. I pray for every Christian that right now just has some sense of something that is causing them to be anxious and worried and afraid. I pray, Jesus, that you would bring calm and peace into their life, just like you did for your disciples on that night in the middle of the Sea of Galilee when you stood up and said, quiet, be still, and calm came. I pray for every person that their faith is being shaken. I pray for every person that is anxious right now, that you would give to them peace that passes all understanding, peace that would, outside of you, be totally unexplainable. I pray that you would speak peace into their heart, into their emotions, into all of their fears. Let peace and calm come. And God, right now, for every person that is saying, I need Jesus in my life, I want Jesus in my boat, there is no logical reason for me to say no to Jesus. Why would I say no to the very one that loves me? Why would I say no to the very one who created me to be in relationship with Him? And if that's you right now, I want you to pray this prayer with me right there. You can pray it in your heart and your mind. Dear Jesus, forgive me of all of my sin. I need you in my boat. I need you in my life. I can't manage my life. I certainly can't manage this world on my own. I need you. I want you. Come into my life. Best that I know how, I receive you as the Savior and the leader of my life. And with your help, I will live for you the rest of my life. In Jesus' name, amen. You can open your eyes now and look up. And if you prayed that prayer with me, I want to say congratulations. Welcome to the family of God. And here's what we want you to do. There's some information right there on the screen that will tell you how you can get connected to us. I want you to do this. I want you to do it right away. I want you to let us know that you prayed that prayer, that you received Jesus, that you invited Jesus into your boat, into your situation, into your business, into your family. But most importantly, you've invited Jesus into your life. Would you let us know that? We'd love to follow up on you. God bless you. Thank you so much for being with us today. Whatever you do, be sure to be back with us next week. Between now and 9:30 and 11 o'clock next Sunday, please let your friends and family know. We look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you, everybody. We love you, and we're praying for you in Jesus' name.
Man, what an incredible word from our pastor today. Just a reminder that wherever you're at, in the midst of this chaos, in the midst of crisis, can I encourage you that Jesus is with you. He sees you, He hears you, and He loves you. It says in His word that He'll never leave you nor forsake you. And also, your Victory family is with you as well. If you need anything, don't forget, you can text ASSIST to 863-400-1226, and our staff is going to respond as quickly as possible to you. Thank you so much for worshiping with us today. We can't wait to see you Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m.